For more information, check out my blog, Dhukai.com. Follow me!
Hey guys, as you may have already guessed by the title, today's video is going to be all about the best yellow powders for brown skin. The whole yellow powder trend came along when this picture of Kim Kardashian was circulating all over the internet, and then there was just no turning back from there. I have been on a mission to find the best yellow setting powders for my skin tone since I want to say January. I feel like I've narrowed down a really good handful of yellow powders that I feel like are amazing for brown skin. I've tested a whole bunch of other ones which I'm not including in this video because I feel like they just weren't up to my standards on what I wanted in a yellow powder. It's really hard to find a good yellow setting powder that doesn't make you look ashy. So if you're my skin tone or deeper than I am, you need to try some of these powders. You will thank me later. Let's just get straight into my favorites. So just a little story before I get into my favorites. I was a little late on this bandwagon, but back in January, I picked up the Ben Nye banana powder, which you guys know this got super popular because of this picture of Kim Kardashian circulating all over the internet, and of course everyone had to have it because it's Kim Kardashian and everyone wants what her makeup artist is doing. So anyways, I was late on this. I picked this up in January, and if you guys watched my videos from like January to like March, I tried to use this so much and I was really disappointed because I feel like whenever somebody talks about something and they talk about how much they love it, how it's the greatest thing in the world, first, I'm always late on the bandwagon, and then second of all, when I finally do pick it up, I feel like it doesn't work for me and it just misses the mark, and I feel a little disappointed. So I was talking about this in a few of my videos, and I was talking about how I just wasn't sure about how it worked for me. And then my friend Jackie, hey girl, reached out to me and she was like, girl, you need to try this next powder that I'm going to talk to you guys about. And number one on my list for one of the best yellow setting powders is this one right here, which is the Sacha Buttercup setting powder. Ever since I got my hands on this, I have been using this religiously. I kid you not, this is like my second tub of this. I absolutely love this. And the reason why I brought up the Ben Nye powder is because a lot of you guys have been asking for a comparison between the two. So I thought, instead of making a whole separate video about it, I'll just talk about it right here, and then I'll tell you guys some of my other favorite yellow powders. So these are both yellow powders. I feel like the Sacha Buttercup powder is just a little bit more yellow than the Ben Nye. So this one is better for my skin tone and deeper. I also feel like whenever I use this one, I look really ashy and kind of gray, and I think that's one of the reasons why I was feeling a little disappointed, because it didn't give me that awake, glowy look that Kim Kardashian had. So then when I got the Sacha Buttercup, I was like, yes, because it gave me exactly that. Like, it gave me this really bright-eyed, wide-awake look. I'm actually wearing this on my under eye right now, and this is like my special occasion setting powder. Like, I use this whenever I want to be glam, or I'm going to a special event, or I'm going to a wedding. This is the powder that I reach for. So one of the things that I really love about this is that it is so incredibly micro fine. So I feel like it blends really seamlessly. It sets my under eye in place. It doesn't crease on me or anything like that. And it just stays in place all day long. One thing about me and my skin tone, and I feel like a lot of people who have my skin tone or are deeper than I am, whenever you use a certain powder and you take a picture with normal lighting, it's fine. But then as soon as you go into flash, it's like the brown girl struggle is real. It's like you look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, and you get this flashback, which nobody likes. And I feel like this powder doesn't give me any flashback. It actually looks amazing in pictures. It's just the most perfect color for my skin tone and deeper. It comes in this loose setting powder, and it also comes in a compact version. I alternate between both of these. A lot of people like to bake with this. I personally don't like to bake. I've tried it before. I was on the fence about it, but honestly, the reason why I don't like to bake is because I feel like it just doesn't suit me. I feel like I look like, I mentioned this in a previous video, like I felt like I look like roti. You know how when you make bread and it has that powder on the outside, the flour on the outside. That's how I feel when I bake, and it's just not comfortable for me. But a lot of people love to bake with this and it looks beautiful on them. It just doesn't work for me. The way that I like to use it is I pick it up on my brush and I push it into my skin, and I use a little extra product with it. So it's kind of like baking, but not really. I set it onto my under eye, and then I don't really let it sit there for too long. I kind of just dust it off within a few seconds. That's just what works for me. I could talk about how amazing this powder is all day long. I've been talking about this in multiple videos of mine, and so many of you guys have picked this up and said that you love it, and I'm so happy to hear that my recommendations are working for you guys. So the Sasha Buttercup compact and loose versions are number one on my list for one of the best yellow powders for brown skin. Moving on to my second favorite yellow setting powder. This one is on the pricey side, but you do get two different products with this. This is the Marc Jacobs Instamark, I guess, what is this called? Instamark Light Filtering Contour Powder, and this is in the number 40 Mirage filter. So this comes with a yellow shade and it comes with a contour shade. I obviously use the yellow shade quite a bit. This is also another one of those very finely milled powders. It sets your under eye in place really beautifully. One thing that I did kind of notice with this one is that my under eye did look a little brighter with flash photography. So use a really light hand whenever you're using this one. This powder right here is great if you are my skin tone or a little lighter than I am. I feel like if you are deeper than I am, this will show up a little light on you. So I definitely recommend the Buttercup if you are looking for something that's a little bit more on the yellow side. Number 3 on my top 4 is the NYX HD Finishing Powder in the color Banana. This comes in the NYX Highlighting Contour Kit, and it also comes individually like I have here. This is a more paler toned yellow. This is the palest yellow shade out of all 4 powders that I'm showing you. This is a great drugstore alternative to a yellow powder. I feel like this is the only drugstore yellowish powder that works on me. A lot of the other ones tend to look very ashy on me, or they give off a really strong white cast, which nobody likes. And the final powder, and number 4 on my top 4 yellow powders, is this one right here, and this is by Sephora, and this is the Bright Set Pressed Finishing Powder in the color Banana. I feel like banana is just the universal name for these yellow powders, except for the Sasha Buttercup. And this is the same concept as all the other powders that I showed you. I feel like this is a little bit more on the yellow side. It's probably the yellowest shade out of every product that I talked about today. And it is just overall a great product. So those are my favorite yellow powders for brown skin. For those of you guys who are beginners in makeup, you might be wondering, why would you use a yellow powder to set your under eye, or why would you just use a yellow powder in general? If you have dark under eye circles, or if you just really like a wide eye, bright, fresh-faced makeup look, yellow powders are incredible for that. Especially if you're my skin tone or deeper. The reason why I love yellow powders more than a translucent powder is because a translucent powder can tend to give off a white cast and look really ashy in pictures. And that's one of the reasons why I love yellow powders, because they just give you a really beautiful, healthy, fresh, bright-eyed look, and they just look beautiful on all skin tones. Of course, you have to use a powder that's more suitable for your skin tone. If you have never tried a yellow setting powder before, I highly recommend it. Try it out. You will fall in love with it. All the products that I mentioned today will be listed in the description box below in the order that I talked about them and the order that I love them, I guess. I hate saying that I love one thing more than the other because I feel like it's not fair to the other product, but the heart wants what it wants. Anyways, leave me some comments below and let me know if you've tried any of the products that I mentioned today. I think that's about all I have to tell you guys. I love you, and I will see you in my next one.